Hello there, welcome back to TechEmpowered. My name is Yemisi, and this podcast is brought to you by Tech for Them. Tech for Them is a non-profit organization creating opportunities for economic prosperity for people through digital skills empowerment and advocacy. TechEmpowered is a podcast where we spotlight real stories of how technology is transforming the lives of young people in Africa and across the world. Today's episode is quite profound. It features a story of bold shifts, self-discovery, and relentless growth. I can't wait for you guys to meet Grace Emmanuel. She's a Women Techsters Bootcamp alumna whose tech journey is as surprising as it is beautiful. Grace went from studying German language, to becoming a cybersecurity engineer. Her transition wasn't straightforward, but despite having no technical background, she embraced the challenge, committed to continuous learning, and pushed through any form of doubt. Grace is here today with us to share her story, and I'm sure you have some questions running through your mind, like how did she make that shift? From German to cybersecurity, what kept her going during the tough moments, and everything in between. So we're going to get some answers today. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, and let's dive in. Hi, Grace. Welcome to TechEmpowered.
I am so happy to be here, finally.
Okay, so let's start with an introduction. So introduce yourself to our listeners. Who is Grace? What makes you tick?
So my name is government name Grace Emmanuel, but preferred to be called Grace E. And some people know me as Cyberballer. Basically, to be like a planner and not a mechanic. Apart from that, I'm just a sweet person, if I'm permitted to say that, and enjoy giving back as much as possible. So that's just the long and short summary of who I am.
Awesome. So I think German. Can you speak German fluently? Are you fluent?
I'm not as fluent as I used to be, but I understand. Yeah, and can still speak a bit of it.
Okay, can you introduce yourself in German? I just introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Guten Tag, mein Name ist Emmanuel Grace. Ich komme aus Nigeria. Ich bin ein Cybersecurity Analyst und ich bin sehr gut und ich spreche Deutsch.
You said Cybersecurity Analyst, wherever that thing I'm like.
I mean, long and short of it, I just said my name. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a cybersecurity analyst and I speak German.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction. Okay, so let's get into the conversation for today. So what was the turning point for you? What was that point where you said, I need to try something different?
Thank you very much for that. For me, I wouldn't really say there was like a turning point, but from German, I'd always done like other things, try to do, sales, facility manager, community manager. I'm generally a curious person, and as a curious person, I tend to want to try out new things and all. So in I think January 2022, I was just home, jobless. Yeah, I'm trying to enjoy my money, and I was just like, okay, you know what? Twitter and every other social media has sold tech to us, we the users as fast money, and I said it to me as there was this argument: tech money versus footballers money versus oil and gas money. And at that point, I was just coming from a bad relationship, and I felt like, okay, if I have my money, nobody's going to talk to me anyhow. So tech is it for me. So coming into tech was just something out of curiosity and something I felt like, okay, just while away time. And this is 3 years down the line. I'm still curious, and I've gotten the money, but not as much as we want it to be. But I mean, it's been an incredible journey. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So why cybersecurity? Why did you choose cybersecurity?
Okay. So like I said, social media sold tech to me as quick money, and also I saw it was it Ocean 12 or Ocean 13 where Rihanna was an hacker with a dread and hoodie and any small thing. And then it's something like I'm in, and I'd seen a whole lot of movies, some metrics and all of that. So I was curious about, okay, what is it to be an hacker? I wanted to be a badass, and I just wanted to, like, I wanted that cool old thing. So I thought, okay, I've been hearing hacking. So I'd lost social media accounts to hacking. So what's so special about the word hacking? What was it all about? So I said, okay, let me do a bit of research on what hacking is. I was researching on Google and I saw hacking and I saw it in line with cybersecurity, and I'm like, okay. I tried out product management. I tried out design. I tried out software. Coding was not for me. Coding is still not for me. I tried out all of that, but I haven't tried out cybersecurity. So this is a new thing. So let me try out cybersecurity. Let me see what is it all about. Is it all about just hacking, or do I have to do a bit of physical security and all of that? So it was more of, like I said, more of curiosity, and I started learning. It was not easy. It was not easy at all.
Thank you for that. I mean, curiosity is a good thing, right? It just allows you to, explore things, and then you find something that works for you or something you're good at. So how was the bootcamp, Women Techsters Bootcamp training like for you, learning cybersecurity? Was that the first time you officially learned cybersecurity, and how was that opportunity like?
Yeah, so back to my story, I was saying that in January 2022, I'd done the whole research and all of that. So the first course I saw was Introduction to Cybersecurity by Cisco, and I said to take that course on my own, self-learning. But I have not done anything tech. Yes, I've done product and all, but it was not as much as what I was seeing, and I was a bit lost. So I think in December, while scrolling on Instagram, I'd seen the Women Techster ad, a sponsor ad or so, and I'd apply like, let's just see what it is all about, I have like a very lucky streak on winning and free legitimate giveaway and tickets online. So I saw it as one of that, so I'd applied and all. So in January, when I was learning on my own, it was still a bit confusing, but I was just like, okay, let me still read this thing. Then the bootcamp started in February. Starting the bootcamp, it was wide. There were a lot of women also, a lot of ladies also in the bootcamp. And I remember my facilitator, Florence Nicrote, she should come to class, she would teach us. Then one day, she said, everybody turn on your machine. I say this thing everywhere. What I know machine as is sewing machine or Okada. And I was a bit confused. I didn't know how to ask her, ma, what machine? What do you mean? What do you mean as a machine? I thought I was the only one, but apparently there was this other lady in the class that had a very funny accent. Sometimes she say things, so we laugh and then learn from whatever she's saying. So she spoke her mind out, say, Amma, which machine? And she was like, oh, everybody turn on your laptop. And it was at that moment, so like, oh, machine, laptop, system, laptop. So coming from that point, say, oh, I didn't even know what this was. So the bootcamp had laid a solid foundation for me, and had helped with my curiosity in the sense that I was like, okay, so there's something as cybersecurity. The facilitator was nice. She was able to break down complex statements, complex sentences, complex concepts to smaller bits, to even we everyday today person, we could get what she's trying to say and all of that. And that was the foundation that built my entire cybersecurity career, because I feel like if this bootcamp camp was really hard. If this bootcamp was like every other training I'd gone through, I would have given up halfway. I would have said, okay, this is not for me. Thank you. Bye-bye. On to the next one. But the bootcamp was able to accommodate women. It was like a safe space for us. We're able to say our mind. We're able to ask questions, no matter how stupid or how funny it to be. Everybody will laugh, or you will learn. So the bootcamp for me was like a very great foundation that built my entire cybersecurity career to this very point. So I would say big ups to people there for that.
Thank you so much for giving us our flowers. Yeah, so I mean, machine, that's like, so I know that they say, oh, the computer is a machine, but I would have never thought that somebody would call it that. I say, oh, turn on your machine. It's like this big thing. But yeah, that's interesting anecdotes. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so were there moments, maybe during the training or after, where you felt maybe out of place or overwhelmed in cybersecurity, considering that you have a background in that, and how did you push through?
Thirdly, there were moments from the beginning where I felt out of place. There were moments where I felt like it was not for me, and I'd made a big mistake and all of that. There were moments like that. I mean, coming from learning German in the uni for 4 years, coming from being a pure art student to transitioning into tech, it was a big thing. You go on X and everybody's talking about, I learned this, I gained this, everybody was talking in technical languages, and you are just there saying, God, I beg, don't allow my secret to expose that I don't know this thing. And so there were moments like that. But the one thing I would tell myself is that you cannot shame the shameless. You will laugh at me, and after you laugh at me, it will pain me, I will cry, but I would pick myself up. I would learn from that experience, or whenever I remember that people laughed at me, I would not want that same thing to happen again. So it will force me to learn and all of that. So another thing there was imposter syndrome. Now the imposter syndrome, yes, we still it's 3 years in. Once in a while, I still try to crawl back and all of that. There are times when you feel like you really don't know. I feel like I really don't know this thing, and then I will find myself in a conversation and I'm talking about it. But people will tell myself, well, you say you do not know this thing, but look at you talking about it and all of that. So there are times when imposter syndrome comes to fight and all of that. And I also at the beginning, I wanted to pack everything tech, everything cybersecurity at once and put it in my head. So I was taking in a whole lot of materials, downloading, applying for a whole lot of things at the same time, and I got overwhelmed. And at the point where I got overwhelmed, that was the point where I felt like this is it's over for me. But the thing there is, I found a community. I found people on social media that has helped my career and still help my career to this point. So I would go on X, my earlier tweet on X, when I started cybersecurity, I would say, oh, this is what is happening to me. Please advise. And slowly, I started finding people on X, started finding communities, started finding leaders in the women, not just leaders, women in the industry that had gone through what I'd gone through. And these people would send me a DM, would advise me sometimes. Even when I had my first job interview, I went there to say, please, so what, I am going for a tech interview, what am I going to do there? And all the advice will flow in. I will pick the ones I would pick. I also had accountability partner. She started from, her name is Grace, also she started from Tech for Dev as well, bootcamp. We were in the same class and we did our projects almost together. And so she was my accountability partner at the beginning. So we were both from non-tech background. We both say, tech as cybersecurity has carried me the way I don't know what to do. Me say for what is going to happen, Then we will do aspire to Maguire for each other. We can do it. Is this how you want to make the tech money? So we would speak life into each other, and then still pick it up from there and still go on social media. And slowly we found a community, we joined the community. So there were a whole bunch of resources, people who had gone through the same paths that were ready to help in any way and in any format. So I came from non-tech background, from fighting imposter syndrome, from not fluent in tech but trying to catch up with the old fear. At a point in 2022, towards the end of 20, I wrote my first exam and I failed. And it was at a point in my life where I have called someone crying and said that this is it. I am no more doing it again. This is it. I'm done. And she was like, you're burnt out. You need to rest. You need to take a break and rest. And I took her advice. I took a break. And she would tell me, your name is Grace. You need to extend grace to yourself. You need to know that you can do this. She aspired to my Goya talk. And I mean, it's from 20 to 2025. Yes, I still feel some kind of way some days, but I've come a long way to know that it's okay to feel down. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to speak to other people, to ask for help. It's okay to, the little talk about the little and just say it. If you're wrong, someone will correct you. If you're wrong, somebody will laugh at you, but you will learn from it. So it's been like I said, it's been a long journey. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, you said so many things. Power of community, having somebody in your corner, like an accountability partner that you can motivate each other, that really helps, especially on days when you're feeling low. And pace yourself. I mean, when you're trying something new, and from experience as well, when you're trying something new, you want to consume all the information, you want to get everything, and then that can often make you feel overwhelmed, really. So it's important to pace yourself, and just knowing that failure can come, but can take a break, but the key is to never give up so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So you mentioned earlier that you had all the different roles, sales, community management, and a lot more. Are there skills that you were able to take from these roles that you transferred into your job now?
Yeah, so there were skills. So first of all, like I said, I'm a pure art student, or I was a pure art student. So communication was that one skills that I took from every other thing I had done into tech. I would say I like to talk a lot, but I like storytelling. I like telling story from experience. Because out of curiosity, I've done a whole lot of things. I've done trial and error, and I bring those stories with me into cybersecurity. I brought those stories. I still, even in cybersecurity, even in working, when I do a thing or I get an experience from working somewhere, when I'm teaching a class or saying something, I use the power of storytelling to drive points. So communication skills was that one thing I brought from all my jack of all trade career to cybersecurity. I mean, there are times I'm speaking and I just forget and I'm going all technical and I have to call myself back that, okay, assume everybody in this room are 8 years old. Assume everybody in this room are non-tech. Break it down. Tell them, break those concepts down, explain it to them. So communication skills, I brought that. So also collaboration skills. I mean, communication and collaboration work together. You see these two skills. In cybersecurity, you have to speak to people, either through written, you have to write reports, either you are writing those reports or you are speaking to shareholders or you're speaking to your team. So you have to be able to collaborate. You have to be able to, to explain things in a way. So those were those skills, those two soft skills. They really matter in cybersecurity, and I'm grateful that I had those skills. I was able to own those skills and bring them with me to cybersecurity. And I mean, just to say that whatever career you're coming from, there's something you would find, there's something you're good at that you can bring with you to whatever career, whatever tech career you're transitioning. It might be your writing skills, it might be maybe you're a very good person in creating PowerPoint presentation and all of that, can bring all those skills to whatever tech role, and they will be meaningful. They will be so useful for you in anything. In fact, you can even make money from those skills. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so now you're working as a cybersecurity analyst. What does growth look like for you today?
So for me, yes, cybersecurity analyst in a company, and in another, I work as an incident responder, cybersecurity incident responder. So growth for me is more of me mastering some key technical skills, and also for me giving back, for me being able to contribute. So for me, at this point, I'm at the point where I want to look back and see, I started from point A where I didn't know anything, but this is point B. I'm at point B. Well, I'm not at Z yet, but I can actually teach someone in point A. I can actually help someone in point A to get to point B while I move to point C. So the growth for me is more of giving back, more of also mastering the skills I have. That, okay, you wake me up at 5 a.m. or you wake me up at 2 a.m. in the den of the night and you're asking me, someone has suffered a data breach, what will you do? Or you're telling me that, okay, we need to create this kind of scenario, or we need to create a firewall, create rules for firewall, and all that. I'll be able to wake up and say, okay, this and this and this is what you can do. So for me, it's more of giving back and mastering my skills.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so for someone who is listening and feeling unsure about making a change, transitioning into tech, what's one misconception people have about switching into tech that you would like to correct?
So actually I have two misconceptions. The first misconception is that tech is mostly for male, it's mostly for guys. Or some certain roles in tech is mostly for guys or are for guys. So the first thing I would say is tech is for everyone, irrespective of your gender, your age, or where you are coming from. Tech is for everyone, and you can start from somewhere. Yeah. And another misconception I would like to debug would be that you have to have like a certain skills. You have to have like a computer degree, science degree, or you have to have like you have to be able to code. There are non-technical roles in tech. Tech is wide, yes. Tech sales, yes. In fact, in tech is like a world of its own, and every other career exists in tech. You just need to find that niche. You just need to find that path that's for you and try somehow. Just try. Just start from somewhere. So tech is for everyone, and you don't have to be a master in tech. You don't have to be a science student or a computer science student, or you know how to code before you can transition into tech. So those are like the two major misconceptions I like to debug and say no, that's not right, that's not correct. Yeah,
tech is for everyone. Tech is for everyone, and find your niche, find what you're interested in and what you're good at. Thank you so much, Grace, for sharing your story with us today on TechEmpowered. Thank you. We appreciate your time. What an inspiring conversation that was. I mean, Grace's story is a reminder that it's never too late and you're never too off track, to choose something new. Our journey shows us the power of staying curious, embracing change, and committing to continuous learning. If you're in a season of transition or uncertainty, let this be a reminder that your background doesn't disqualify you. It prepares you. Thank you so much for joining us today on TechEmpowered. Don't forget to follow, like, share this episode. You never know, someone you know might need it. And until next time, remember you're not alone on this journey. Bye for now.